Hello friends, before we dive into this video I wanted to just mention a couple of things. Firstly, this video is in fact a slightly edited stream that I did over on Twitch about a week ago. So I've added a link in the description to my Twitch account in case you want to catch any of the future streams. Also, any future videos on this account will probably be more edited than this one. Secondly, I don't have any professional lighting yet, so there is a bit of fiddling about with the colour adjustments and stuff. Hope you don't mind, and you will find another link in the description to a post on Instagram where there's a photo of the swatches as we have them, which is about as close to the original colour as it gets. And thirdly, again, little plug to my Instagram account, but I made a painting for Black Lives Matter. And this is in fact for sale. It's a painting of Black Ariel losing her voice. And if anyone is interested in buying this, just DM me on Instagram and the proceeds will go to charity. Thank you. Now, onto the video. So, for those who are watching this on YouTube, I did this as a live recording on, I did this as a live stream on Twitch. And, yeah, so you'll see me probably, or hear me interacting with a chat that you don't know anything about, or that you can't see on YouTube. Anyway, welcome. I'll be repeating stuff as we go on, as more people join or as people leave, so hope you're okay with that. But the idea today is that I'll be swatching my new paints, which I'm very excited about. Hold on, I have some empty pans for all these little tubes. Can be taking them out. Oh, I'm sorry, it's noisy. I'm guessing some people will enjoy it. Noise. Come on. There we go. I'll try and keep everything like in frame as much as I can. But yeah, I recently finished my dissertation and I decided to splurge on some paints to treat myself. And this is the result. It's a bunch of paints. It's Roman Szmal, mostly, because they're very affordable and they're good quality. I also got a couple of M. Grahams and a couple of Daniel Smiths. There are some colours that are still on my wish list that I haven't gotten because I went way over budget with this splurging. And I have those on my swatch card. I have those listed here, and I hope I won't accidentally paint over those, but I'm leaving some blank spots. So yeah, I'll be filling these empty pans, I'll be putting them in my new palettes, and then we'll start swatching. So let's pour some paints first, shall we? Actually, let me see if I can zoom in. Hold on. I'll shift some of my paints so that I can give you a nice clean slate where you can watch from up close as I pour the paint, because it's very satisfying. Ooh, sorry, there's not much space on this desk. I'm just like trying to get everything sorted. Right, and also I'd like to keep these in order because it just makes the swatching so much easier. Just plonk them all here. Hello, Hales is here. My good friend Hales. Hi Hales. Just so you know, I actually intend on uploading this stream onto YouTube. Possibly edited, don't know yet. But so I've already started talking and stuff, and I'll probably not try and wait too much for question and answer of what's happening in chat, because, well, anyone who may watch it back might be a bit frustrated with that. But yeah, these are my paints, and I'm gonna try and see if I can zoom in. I know it's an option, I just need to figure out how to do it. Ooh, sorry. Gonna see a lot of my arm. But yeah, how have you been, Hills? I hope your day is going well. I hope anyone who's watching is having an okay day. times are a bit insane and stressful right now, which is why I just want to do a chill, simple thing. Because I think, as important as it is to do activism and keep up with everything that's going on and not to let down, it is also important to take breathers every now and then for your mental health so that you can jump back into the fray with renewed energy whenever it is necessary. That is beautiful dark. I love it. It's freezing. Yeah, I mean it's been raining here today as well, and you're further north, so I can imagine it's very cold up there. I've got paint everywhere already. It gets really messy. Ooh, yeah, so we've done the M. Graham ones, which are they're honey based, so they're very juicy and flowy, as you can see. And this is Daniel Smith, a different professional brand, which will probably dry out a bit harder, I'm guessing. Especially the Primatech colours, which this isn't Primatech, but this is. So these are based on actual gemstones. So they may dry kind of rock solid, and I hope it's going to be fine that I squeeze it out into a pan. Like, I hope that's not going to make it really hard for me to roulette down the line, because that would be such a shame. So that's Mayan dark blue, which is very pretty, and it's not too dissimilar from Anthraquinone blue, which is that one. Ooh, I need to keep an eye on which one is which, actually. But, yeah, the reason why I got two is because this one is just a little bit warmer and this one is a little bit cooler. And I really like just dark colours. So now I've got, like, I've got two types of dark blue. Probably, like, I bought way more colours than I needed, let's be honest. And I would not have bought this many colours if it wasn't for a special occasion. Because you can literally get by on, like, 2, 3... You can make a painting in watercolour with literally one colour. Like, even with 2 colours, you can do so much. I got, like, 38, 40 colours that I bought. Just so much more than I ever needed. But they're pretty. And I treated myself, and I've been saving up for a long time, so I thought, you know what? I want to treat myself. Anyway, here's Jadeite, which is an actual gemstone that's been ground up to be used in paint. And this creates a beautiful, almost black green that waters down into like this really, really lovely, vivid, warm green. So I'm very excited about that one. Again, they look very similar squeezed out into a pan like this, so I'm going to have to be very careful when I grab them and put them in their respective places. Now you see I've got one empty pan at the end of this, because I really wanted to get, what's it called? Green Appetite, I think? Is it Green Appetite? Yeah, Green Appetite Genuine. But the biggest tube is not available right now. It keeps saying due soon or available soon. And I'm just sitting there like, I want it now. I don't want to get a small one, I want to get a big one. So, yeah, one of these little blocks is going to have to stay empty. That's another thing I forgot to mention to you, I think, Hales, is that, yeah, I've still have some colours on my wish list, and I've made space for them on my swatch card, so I'm going to have to be very careful when I swatch that I don't accidentally go over them and put the wrong colour in the wrong spot. Right, now that those have been swatched, I'm going to put them to the side. I'm going to put my empty pan to the side as well. Let's see. Oh, I can zoom out again, I think. We'll keep it zoomed in for now, because now we get to the fun bit, which is unwrapping these boys. Yes, they are very pretty, and they'll look gorgeous when you see them swatched out. Like, it's not the most exciting stream for random people watching on Twitch, but for those who like art, like me, and for neurodivergent people, like me, it is very soothing to watch, a very soothing process, and it's so relaxing. It sounds silly, but I've been watching Swatch videos for so long now. Like, they help me fall asleep, and I learn a lot from them. I really find them so soothing and satisfying to watch because it's a visual stim. Yeah, visual stimming. Okay, so the Roman Szmal paints. These are honey-based, just like M. Graham, but since they're from Poland and not America, they're just a bit cheaper. Just a bit. Also, obviously it's a lot less because, as you can see, like, this fills a full pan and I still have, like, this entire tube left to go. So, like, you get more bang for your buck with the big tubes, which is why they're more expensive as well. But I don't care. Like, I really wanted the Roman Szmal paints because, again, I saw someone swatching them and I realised that not only are they far more affordable for me as a poor student, they also have a really nice property, which is that they're kind of... Ooh, this is a lot harder to open than I thought it would be. But yeah, what I like about the Roman Szmal paints is that they're rather opaque, which is usually not the most... not really something you want from your watercolours, because watercolours are meant to be like a sort of a see-through medium. It's very transparent and stuff. But, you know, visual stimulation for neurodivergents like you and me, it's very soothing to watch what these more opaque colours do. I hope they won't all be as slow to open as this one. Thank God this is done. Now we can get to the delightful, satisfying thing of swatching. I need to put these in a different spot. Let's see if I can zoom out again. Ooh, jeez, come on. Settings, that one. Whoop, come on. Okay. Did it ever zoom in or out? I don't know. Because now I'm looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't look that different actually. It's fine. Okay. I'm gonna just pop these to the side and try not to knock them off my desk. That would be lovely. Now, where are my palettes? There are my palettes. So these are all, I'm not going to leave these like this. They're going to go in these boxes. Before I do that, I will decorate these boxes. Yeah, because I have a couple of stickers that I've kept for this exact occasion. This one, which is beautiful. If I can freaking peel it. My nails are too short for this. All the things I wish I'd done before I started this stream. Oh well. You know what? I might do that after the stream. But yeah, I've got this sticker, which is really pretty, and I've got this sticker, which is also really pretty. So I'm going to have one on each palette, and you'll see that. Well, no, you won't see that. I'll do that after the stream. So I'm going to pop these to the side, and I'll probably fill them as I go. So like every colour I've swatched will probably go into these palettes. Let's see. Or I don't know how I'll do it. We'll see. But here is my swatch page. Hopefully I'll manage to keep this in view. And I know I just tried to zoom out, and now I'm going to zoom in again, because swatching is something you want to see from up close. Oop. Ha. That's better. Who dares speak to me on Facebook? Shush. Anyway. I hope you can live with all the crackling of the paper right next to my mic. Anyway, yeah, so first one on the list is already a colour that I do not have, so we're going to skip that one. And we're going to move straight to Cadmium Lemon, which is this boy. Ooh, keep that in view. Oh, this makes me ridiculously happy, like stupidly happy. It's really soothing. So the black line is there to see how opaque the paint is, because watercolour is meant to be transparent, but it's not always. So this just gives a better idea of like exactly how transparent it is. Some of these will show the black line a lot clearer than others. So I've got, just to talk you through what these swatches look like, I've already gone over this tape, that's annoying. It's going to bleed a bit, but hopefully not too much. Anyway, to talk you sort of through these swatches, I have obviously this bit, which is, you know, the black line to show how transparent it is. At the top we've got the name of the brand, that says Roman Szmal, and you'll see in most places I'll shorten it to RS. And under that is the name of the colour, Cadmium Lemon, and that little number at the bottom is the pigment number, and that's a bit more sort of scientific. Why is there already purple water on my desk? How did I manage that? No idea. Absolutely no idea. I've not touched anything purple with this brush, I think. Maybe it's old paint that was on it. I don't know. Don't know how that happened. It's fine. I'll pop that up there because it's easier than trying to put it in the palette right now. It's probably something else I'll do after this stream rather than on camera. So yeah. And the pigment number, so PY35, that's really not massively important. It's more something I like to know, and it's especially handy for people who, if you struggle with getting like a clear colour when mixing your colours, if it's all very muddy or you mix two colours and it just doesn't do what you expected it to, like you mix a blue and a red, and rather than having it turn purple it turns like a weird brownish colour or whatever, that might be because you have a paint with multiple pigments in it. So most of these paints you'll see are one pigment, but some of them, like all the way over here, it has multiple pigments. So the one I just pointed at has a brown and a blue in it. Which means that if you mix it with purple, or with a red or whatever, it might not turn out as clear, because it looks kind of bluish in its mass tone, but because there's a brown in there, it might not mix as cleanly. And that's where it's useful to know if there's multiple pigments in it. But really what pigment it is and stuff, it doesn't matter massively. Like, that's mostly just something I find interesting to know, because I've been watching so many swatch videos. You can already see there's like a difference between these two. This one is a lot sort of paler and it's cooler. And this one, so this is a very, what we call middle of the road yellow. Aquarius yellow. Unique colour. Because it, the pigment that you see on it, PY168, doesn't really get used by anyone else, I think. So that's why I grabbed it. Now we get nickel azo yellow, which contains nickel, which is a heavy metal, I think, or it's at least a slightly toxic substance, but it has such a nice glow to it. I really like this colour, and it looks, as you can see, horrendous. It genuinely looks awful at first glance. We'll get like a good deep mass tone of it. Yeah, it has sort of a brownish hue to it, which makes you think, why would anyone want that in their life? But I will show you in a second, because I will swatch it out and water it down, and it just has such a stunning, vibrant yellow glow. There we go. Yeah, so when you water it down, it becomes a lot more yellow rather than brown. I'm going over the tape again. I put that tape in there for a reason. It's fine. It's totally fine. Oh, I'm getting water everywhere. I'm splashing. I would like that to be clear, please. Thank you. Not yellow. Yeah, it's such a vibrant light yellow. There we go. Pretty colours, yeah. Gonna see if I can make this transition a bit nicer. Probably not. That's fine. That'll do. Okay, now we get M. Graham paint, which is still very wet, so I may have to grab my palette to just dilute it a bit, because otherwise I get straight up like paint when it should always be diluted with water. So I'm gonna just grab, yeah, just a glob. Gonna do this out of shot because that's just easier. Although, look at that. So I'm gonna add just a touch of water to that. And that is Indian yellow, which is a lot more sort of orange, so this is a very warm yellow. And it's a bit different from what you see from the other brands when it comes to Indian yellow, because it's the name is used by different brands, and every brand has a slightly different hue to it. But the second I saw someone swatch this out on YouTube, I was like, that's the nicest one. I love that one. Because it's so warm and sort of rich and tropical almost. It's like a mango colour. I think it's very much like a mango colour actually. It's not a bad comparison, if I do say so myself. And then we just water it down. It's so nice to have professional paints. Yeah, I mean, you can work with really cheap paints and get a really good result. That is absolutely true. But there's just something about how punchy this is and how luxurious. And maybe it's a placebo effect because I know that they're pricier and fancier. But I love them. And I think that's what matters. Is that I have great joy in using them. There we go. Right, I can put this palette down again for now. I'll come back to it when we have our next sort of physical swatch like this. Ooh. Push those aside. Okay. Next up is Anthraquinone Scarlet, which is a fantastic word. And it's in several of these paints. It comes back. There's little splotches there. Let's hope that doesn't interfere with the colour too much. So that's what it looks like. It's a bit more orange, sort of orangey red. I was thinking of getting like an actual orange, but none of them were really screaming at me. I think one of these is an orange pigment here in the earth tones, but this will do just fine. Ooh, that's almost chemical in colour. Don't know how well you can see it. Let me shift this over. Yeah, it looks almost fake. I don't know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of something, but it'll be useful for some mixing, I'm sure. Yeah, I've got way more colours than I need, but that's fine. I enjoy having a lot of colours. There we go. Yeah. I hope this is as satisfying for people to watch as it is for me to paint. That looks like blood orange. It does actually. That is a very good point. It has very much a blood orange colour to it. Thank you for that, Hales. Let me add just a bit more. Okay, so one thing that I may do as well when I've gone through this entire swatch list is do like a little line at the side to see how well it glazes. So when you put the same colour over itself, does it look pretty much the same? Does it lift? Does it or does it look extra punchy? And usually that doesn't really, it's not really something I use much, but it's interesting, I guess. Like if you grab my old, this is an old swatch card that I made for different paints. This is Arteza paint, and I've got the little line there, and you can see some of them, like that one, barely glazes. You can barely see a difference. But some of them, like this Oxford blue, is very punchy when you put it over itself. So I don't know if I'll do that. I'm gonna guess that it'll be punchy regardless. Okay, Naphthol Red is next. But brands like Sennelier, which is, I have it here somewhere. I have one Sennelier paint. It's this little boy. Sennelier is very well known for really good glazing, because it's used. Because of that, or maybe it's specifically designed for this, but that is something that they do a lot in floral paintings, is glazing over each other. So when you put Sennelier down in its mass stone, it's actually quite subtle and light, and you think, is that a professional paint? Because it's not very punchy. But then you glaze it over itself and it just comes to life. It's very vibrant. Oh, I really hope this doesn't stain. Oh, shoot. Okay. I may have to put a safety mat under here because, well, this table isn't mine. This is part of the flat that I rent. And if I stain it with paint, I hope that doesn't bring me in trouble or put me in trouble. Which is why I'm a fool for trying to finish this swatch. But I don't want to stop halfway through and have to reshuffle my entire desk, because I have a very limited workspace. And I have a lot on my desk. Landlords, yeah. I mean, to be fair, mine is very lovely. She is very chill. But I already made like a massive dent in the wall. So I'd rather not, you know, give her any more reason to hold back part of my whatever that money is called that you place down. Deposit, that one. I speak English. Yeah, Naphthol red, middle of the road red, very, very nice. It has slightly cool undertone actually. So it's definitely cooler than that, which for a second I thought, oh no, I messed up the order because I wanted to go, from warm to cool or whatever. But then I realised, no, we're going from warm to cool in the reds, so it's all good. I didn't mess up the order at all. Right, I am gonna see if I can put down my safety mat real quick without having to cause too much of a hassle to myself. This isn't as pretty as the lovely white table, but we're gonna make sacrifices, and this time I'm sacrificing visuals and aesthetic for my deposit. I think that's a very fair exchange. Okay. Anyway, back to the swatching. So, you're all good. It's all good. Thank you. What's next? Azure red. Ooh, where's my... Yes, I have a little piece of cloth that I wipe my brush in and I drop that on the floor. Anyway. Azure red. Ooh, that's rather nice as it comes to life. Okay, it's already like darker and I see why I bought it, because it's that's a very nice... Yeah, that's a beautiful red. I can't even describe it. It's red in a certain way that just really tickles my fancy. There we go. You can see how opaque it is. Like, that black line is very much not black at the moment. So pretty. Oh my god, yeah, no, this is making me extremely happy. Oh no, it does not look accurate on camera at all. It looks so orange. It's like almost pinkish in hue. Oh, that's annoying. Dang, this camera... Hold on, no, I shouldn't mess with the white balance, but I can try. I can see what happens if I try. Settings, white balance. Oh, jeez, that didn't mean to do that. I mean, that's sort of what it looks like that. Maybe I should, hold on, if I say cancel, so I know exactly what colour it's on. Oh, what number is on? Okay, 5,000 is what it's on. I'm gonna pop it down to about 3,000. Maybe I should just press automatic, but I'm scared. Yeah, that'll have to do for now. Okay. So yeah, that's what it actually looks like. Now you know. Oh, it dried. That's annoying. Yeah, that's another good reason why I don't want to stop in the middle of a swatch, because it creates this annoying line and then you get back runs and it just doesn't look as pretty. Still not quite accurate on camera, but it's a lot better than it was, because that was super orange red. And it's just very much not. It's really rather cool. I do wonder what happens if I press automatic. Sorry for all this messing about with technology. Is that accurate? No, I think I'm gonna stick with the slightly cooler palette. See if I can make it even cooler. Yeah, that'll have to do for now. Okay. Let's see how these look on camera. Just not as pretty, do they? Yeah, they looked a bit better with the different white balance. They look very washed out right now. But I just want to show off this colour as it is. Yeah, camera is not liking as a red. It really doesn't like it. That's good for me to know for the future. Oh god, I really hope that doesn't mean I have to learn how to like colour correct in video editing software, because that's very complicated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5. Huh? Please tell me I didn't swatch the same colour twice. No, I didn't. There's that one as well. I'm a fool. Okay, no, we're good. Just trying to figure out if I didn't skip ahead or whatever. Okay, so next one, cadmium red deep. Let's see how accurately the camera picks this one up. I think maybe it has an issue with reds because it's a webcam that I'm using for my camera, which means it's probably calibrated to pick up skin tones, or colour correct skin tones in a way. So if something is looking too flushed, it'll wash it out a bit, or correct it to just something that looks a bit more human, or whatever. I don't know. That's my theory anyway. Oh my god. I'm sorry, that's a very sexy colour. So it's a cadmium colour, which is a heavy metal, which is why it's so horrendously opaque. But I don't know if you can hear my roommate. Yeah, like that is beautiful. Oh, that's very pretty. And yeah, the camera is actually picking that up very accurately. But yeah, heavy metal, not great. There's definitely watercolor artists that sort of try to, you know, tell people to try and stay away from that, because, you know, if that gets in the water, it's very tricky and stuff. And I know I want to be eco-conscious and eco-friendly, but oh my god, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. Ooh, I added too much water. I need to sort of tone that down a bit. Suck it up. That's better. It has a really nice flow, this paint. That's the honey content in it. Yeah, it's also a very cool red, as you can see. Sort of purpley. Oh, I really, really like that. Okay, I'm already losing space rapidly. Right, let's see if I can put all these things up here on my laptop. Just pop them out on my keyboard. That's fine. I have my laptop set up in front of me, so that's how I read chat, and how I keep track of my stream. So my webcam here is plugged into it, and then on the other side is my microphone on that side, which is also plugged into it. And then there's a light over there, there's a light there, there's my jars over there, and drinking water as well. It's not a big desk, but I'm making the best of it. Let's see. What's next? Anthraquinone red. May sound familiar because we had Anthraquinone scarlet up here. But this one is far more purpley and cool red. And I probably didn't need to get it, I probably could have just stuck to magenta, but I'm gonna guess that there was something about this colour which really screamed at me to buy it. So we're gonna see what that was, because I don't remember. Yeah, hold on, I'll need to get a bit more water on here. Yeah, I may have been able to skip this colour, but it's fine. It's pretty. It's a very cool red. Yeah, if you go for a more limited palette, if you're looking for like a selection of colours, you could have probably just stuck to magenta rather than get both Anthraquinone red and magenta, like I did. But it's a nice colour, and it's actually very transparent for this brand. So that's probably why I got it, because I do need to get some mixing reds that are not, you know, super opaque like that. What can I say? I have a weakness, and that weakness is really pretty paints. Yeah, so camera's picking it up alright, which is lovely. That means less work for me. I have 2 jars here, and one of them is rapidly getting dirty. When I say jars, I mean jars of water. Don't just randomly have jars, empty jars that I'm dirtying for no reason. Every time my roommate walks past singing long-term music, I wonder how much you guys can hear. And if she's aware that she's on the internet. She knows I'm streaming, so. Okay. I'll pop that colour over there. Sorry, you get to see a lot of my arm today. Oh no, you can sort of see there's like a square there. It's fine. I'll try and see if I can fix it. Ooh, I'm splashing paint again. I do need to be careful of that. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Isn't it? I don't know. I don't know if I screwed it up or not. It's fine. Right, magenta. So this is a very cool red. It's very good for mixing. Like if you look at your primary colours, your 3 main mixing colours, they are yellow, cyan, and magenta. Everyone thinks it's red, blue, and yellow, and technically it is, but it depends on who you ask. If you ask a scientist what colours light are made of, that's probably what it'll come with. Or you might even chuck in a green. But if you ask a painter, he'll say cyan, magenta, and yellow. Because they mix colours a lot better. You can make a lot of colours with those 3 at least. So if you want a very minimal palette, those are the ones to go for. And now I see why I got magenta and Anthraquinone red, because magenta is very pink. Like, I thought that was cool red, but this is like almost like a sort of fuchsia vibrant pink. Well, it's magenta. But there's a difference between sort of knowing the name of a colour and seeing it in front of you on paper. That is pretty decent. I like that. Not a massive fan of vibrant pinks, but for painting, I'm sure it'll come in very handy. can hear the rain, by the way. Like, it's raining, and it's been raining pretty much the entire stream, just against the window. And, like, usually what I like to do in a stream is I like to have some background noise, and quite often it's music, but considering that I want to put this on YouTube, music wasn't really an option. And so another thing that I do sometimes in my streams is I take ambient noises, which is, you know, sometimes it's rainstorms, and most commonly it's like a rainstorm and like a fireplace or like a crackling. But if I wanted that to work properly, where it wouldn't play over my laptop and the microphone, I would have to wear headphones, and then there would be like a cord running across the screen. It's just a whole setup. It's not very convenient. So I thought, I'll leave the background noise for what it is. And now it's actually raining, so that is very convenient for me. So nature is providing its own background noises. Nature and my roommate. Right. Quinacridone Violet. Again, a fantastic name. I think this is a purple that's quite common in mixing colours. So sometimes you'll find like a convenience colour, which basically means it's a colour made up of multiple pigments, so you could technically mix it yourself. And this pigment, PV19, is one that is often used in some of those mixes, especially like the greys and certain types of moody colours. So I thought, that's a good mixing colour, I'll get that. I think one of the colours that I had my eye on of this brand was in fact a mixing, was a convenience colour that had PV19 in it. So I thought, I can at least get one colour less if I just buy the PV19. Along with whatever other colour was in there, which sounds counterproductive, because then you're buying two colours instead of one. But yeah, I would get just those. I would get those colours anyway, and I could mix the third colour, that fancy colour, with them, as well as many other colours, and use them on their own. So, I didn't mean to stick that straight into that water. Okay, well, now my moderately clean water has been filled with this colour, but that's fine. It's fine. Might just mean that I need to go refresh my water sooner than later. Ooh, okay. I need to adjust my white balance again in a sec. I'll do that when this swatch is done, because it's looking a lot cooler on the camera than it does in real life. In real life, it looks, well, not like that. Oop. Settings. It looks a bit more like that. See, I'm getting good at this. Look at me. I'm a technician. Professional streamer. Not really. I do want to do more streams though. I was thinking of doing 2 streams a week, which is a lot. And I hope I'll be able to make them all. But I will do at least 1 art stream a week, because I find them really relaxing. Other people find them relaxing. And yeah, now I have my paints, my fancy little paints, so there's no excuse for me not to do them. This is ultramarine. Oh, ultramarine pink. Bit hard to re-wet, which doesn't surprise me, but it is a very interesting one. So this one should granulate, and so far I've not really seen any of them granulate, but granulation is a very, very pretty effect in my opinion, where it looks almost like it has static in it, and it just creates very natural patterns in the paint that you just cannot mimic. come on. Yeah, you can already see it. And again, the white balance is not perfect for it. I wish I could zoom in further, but this is as far as it gets with this webcam, and that's okay. I think if it was any further, it would probably get blurry. Right, get a bit more paint on here. Yeah, you can already see sort of the granulating effect. There's sort of a... It's comparable to, for the people out there who know their watercolours, those that might watch this on YouTube, it's, I think, a very comparable hue to Wisteria from Daniel Smith, but Wisteria is made with white in it and doesn't granulate. So if you want something that's rather unique and perhaps a bit more sort of luminescent, even though this is still a bit opaque because you can see it's covering the black line, it just has a bit more of a glow to it, and it's very unique. It's a very unique colour. You can tell I've watched way too many art videos because I know a ridiculous amount about watercolour, and I've never studied art professionally or in school or whatever. Pop that out there. Now, manganese violet. It doesn't say hue, so I'm guessing it's actual manganese that's in there, which is another heavy metal, I believe. And it's in fact a very rare metal or element to be used in watercolour these days. It used to be very common for blues, but these days you see it mostly being, you mostly see blue hues, manganese hues. So the fact that this doesn't say hue I find quite interesting, which makes it very unique again. A bit hard to re-wet though, I'll show you. It takes like a lot of coating and scrubbing at the paint, but that's okay. Ooh. Chat's rather quiet, but that's also a-okay with me, because apparently I can talk my own ears off. Okay, this is again not turning up great on the white balance. I'll adjust it in a second, as per usual, but it's a beautiful, beautiful purple. Very opaque. Not as opaque as Cadmium Red Deep, but still pretty opaque. And I'm guessing it's going to show some granulation. This paper is not showing off the granulation well though, which is kind of a shame. Because that ultramarine pink should look a lot more interesting than it does right now. Oh, it's so nice and rainy. I really, really love sitting like by the window as it rains outside. Like, I'm a big fan of rain because I grew up in the Netherlands, which has pretty similar climate to Scotland, and I almost dare to say maybe it's because the climate has changed, or maybe it's just because it's actually a bit different. But when I was young in the Netherlands, it would rain even more than it does here in Edinburgh these days. And that might be because Edinburgh is a coastal city, so you don't get... I like that purple though. Yeah, it's beautiful. But yeah, like, it doesn't rain as often as I expected here in Edinburgh. And whenever it does, I'm very happy because I'll sit there and just listen to the rain. And like, in my parents' house where I grew up, we have these massive windows, like the window covers the entire wall, so the entire wall is a window, and that means that just there's such, like, you can hear all the rain. It's good rain coverage. I'll adjust the white balance, as per usual. A bit warmer. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is again looking much more orange than it actually does, as is this. Like, this is far deeper. It sort of reminds me a bit of old blood. And that as well looks very orange. So ignore those. The rest is not too bad in accuracy. This is actually very light. Like, it doesn't have a deep mass tone. But that manganese violet, let me see if I can hold it up. Like, you can sort of see a speckling. Yeah, there it is. You can see the speckling pattern in that. That is granulation. And it's really lovely. It is pretty. Anyway, on to Cobalt Violet Deep. Cobalt, another heavy metal. So, again, not great for the environment, but very opaque and granulating, and therefore exactly what I like to see. I'm not quite as sure how I would use it in a painting, because I'm not that experienced with actual painting. I know all the theory, but the practice is a different thing entirely. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. Ooh, nearly painted on the wrong bit. This needs a little bit more water. Does it look? Yeah, it looks good on camera. Good. But yeah, I have a lot of good memories about rain. I do apologise about this, by the way. This piece of paper came in a block, and it was impossible, just absolutely impossible to dislodge. So, like, I used a Stanley knife, and just some of it really tore quite badly, and it breaks my heart. Because this is pure cotton paper, this is expensive stuff. So, yeah, I was like, ooh, there go my pretty swatches. And there goes my really expensive watercolour paper. But it's fine. At least it's not for, like, a proper painting. But I do dread, you know, if I ever make a professional painting that I might want to sell, and I want to, like, dislodge this paper, I'm scared that I'm just gonna tear it. So I think, yeah, this one is also a granulating one, I'm pretty sure. You can see we're slowly getting more cool, so it's getting more towards a blue hue, which is great, because blue is next in line. That's one of the most satisfying things about doing swatches, when it all comes together and just looks like a rainbow. Very satisfying. And I know that it shouldn't all be about aesthetics and stuff, but hey, sometimes that's where we find joy in these things. Yeah. Trying to get it just a bit more punchy in its mass tone, but I think that's about as punchy as it gets, which I can live with. Gonna put that over there. Anyway, on to the next one, which is Dioxazine Violet. This, I'm willing to bet I'm gonna have to adjust the white balance for this, because this should be really punchy, dark, almost sci-fi purple. Like, if you look at it, it looks black right now in its mass tone. It won't look as dark when I paint it out, but oh boy, it's a very sexy colour. Oh, that looks very black on camera. It looks more like purple in real life, I promise. But it's so pretty, and if you mix this with just a bit of, like, a phthalo blue, it's gonna glow. It's gonna be a very good sci-fi colour. Yeah, it's a pretty one. see what happens if I've got like a white light. No, that doesn't really help. There we go. Swatch it out a bit so you can see it better. What are you up to right now, Hills? What is my lovely audience here on Twitch doing? Are people just hanging out? Are they having dinner? Are they doing their own art with some background noise? I do appreciate being background noise. I feel like a lot of people like listening to podcasts and stuff. I don't listen to podcasts, actually, at all. Don't have the patience for it, the attention span, but I splattered. But I do like providing that for other people. Just a chill, calm environment. Oh my god, I need to stop splattering all over my desk. It's fine, it's really watered down paint, so it's not leaving too much of like something that might stain. There we go. Yeah, actually I don't really need to adjust the light. Painting a tiny green fox cat thing named Ras and eating a cookie. That is delightful. I love Ras already. He sounds adorable. And cookies are always a good idea. There we go. Dioxazine purple. Not quite as dark as it seems to be on camera, but still beautifully dark, dark purple. You'll see that most of these dry lighter. Like, that's what watercolour does, and it's always a little bit disappointing because you paint it and then you just want to cry as you look at it, and then it dries and you're like, oh, that's lost something somewhere along the way. But that's why having that sort of glaze, that second layer, can be good sometimes. French ultramarine. Ooh, okay. So we've hit the blues, finally. This is as warm blue as it gets. Ultramarine is a very common colour on most people's palettes because it's good for mixing. And if you water it down, it's a good sky colour. There are several ultramarine versions on in Roman Szmal's colour range, but I think this is the most classic one, and I thought, you know what, that'll do for me. Oof, that looks punchy on camera. It's always funny to just look up and go, oh, that's interesting. So that's what people see in comparison to what I see. I think that's why doing this as a live stream is very convenient, because if I just filmed it without seeing what I was doing, the camera shut off halfway through or whatever, or like the colours are all wrong, you know, I'd have to fix all that in post-production, and that's exhausting. I do not like editing. It's something I get sucked into when I start doing it. I go into like a hyper-focus mode, but it's exhausting, it's very draining to me. Whereas paint, that is something I can do for hours without feeling too tired. But if I want to start making art videos for YouTube, I'm gonna have to do more editing, sadly. But yeah, so I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm gonna properly do like YouTube stuff. But that means that if you miss a stream or if you want to see it in just like quick time or whatever, you can catch it on YouTube. And most of, like, if I do proper paintings, I will speed them up so that it's more of a speed paint rather than, you know, a 2-hour long painting session with a lot of chat. So I'll have a voiceover and stuff. And then if people want to properly see it in detail, how it was done, how it was made, or they want to actually hang out with me, they can join me here on Twitch. I know there are artists out there who do those live streams and stuff over on Patreon so they can make money out of it, but I'm not good enough for that to start profiting off that, to demand or to say to people, hey, you want more access to me, you have to pay for it. It's like, no, let's just chill on Twitch. Anyway, Cobalt Coilin Blue, or Coolin, or Coolin, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's another cobalt colour, which means it's another heavy metal, and I do apologise to people who like their stuff to be environmentally friendly, I can't talk, but it's a very unique colour, and I wanted a lighter blue, like a sort of a sky blue that wasn't vivid turquoise or whatever the other one, teal, like. So I wanted more of a warm sky blue, something that isn't, you know, really dark like that. And between this one and the other sort of sky blue they had, I found this one more unique. So I thought, that's probably better if I go for the unique colour. So I might as well. Yeah, this makes beautiful sort of spring, summer skies. Cobalt is the colour of fear. How is that? Why is it the colour of fear? Please elaborate. Because, like, if I have a lot of cobalt colours on here. If I'm painting with the colour of fear, should I be worried? Yeah, that's about as dark as it gets. So it's a lot lighter in colour. Right. Next up, Phthalo Blue Green Shade. Now the phthalo colours are spelled ridiculously, so it's PHTH. They're also super, like, ridiculously vibrant, and there's people who are like, I don't know what to do with this, how am I going to use that in a natural looking painting? But there are ways, apparently, which I can't educate you on, because I don't have enough experience for that. But there are people on YouTube who can tell you. I think Steve Mitchell, from the Mind of Watercolour, has a video on phthalos and how to use them in paintings, which I only very recently viewed, but it's already, like, I've already forgotten what he said and what he did. So if you want a tutorial, I'd say that's probably your best bet to go to, rather than with me. Fear is cobalt in my gut, and when people are scared, their voices sometimes become more cobalt. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, because for those watching, my friend Hales has synesthesia, which means he sees sounds have a colour to him. He can see sounds. So yeah, for a second I forgot that. My apologies. So when you say that cobalt is the colour of fear, do you mean specifically this cobalt Coilin Blue? Because the cobalt is in, like, a lot of colours. This one has cobalt in it as well, and you'll see several other cobalt colours come up later. So I'm guessing you mean more of, like, this colour rather than specifically the element. Yeah, cobalt is fear. Nice. That's very interesting. It's kind of like a magic power. This is a very staining colour, and it's stained my brush, and I'm very annoyed at it. Can't get it off. But as you can see, like, that is not quite accurate on camera, I just realised, but it's very sort of punchy, vibrant blue. I'll adjust it in a second. Or the other cobalt, the darker one. Okay. Which one? Because that one isn't cobalt. Trying to figure out if I have any other cobalt colours up here. No, that's the first cobalt, and that's the second cobalt that I have on this palette right now. So, if you mean this colour, this is French ultramarine. Oh. It's always a bit of a delay between between chatting and stream, especially when someone is all the way up in Aberdeen, where the internet connection might not be as fast. One you're painting. Ah, the one I'm painting. Okay, yeah. Phthalo blue green shade. That's interesting. So it's kind of the colour of ballpoint pens, is what it reminds me of. That's interesting that that's yeah, that's the colour of fear to you. Right, let's see if I can call in. Yeah. Anxiety, that sounds about right actually. Like, I can't see sounds and stuff, but to associate that colour with anxiety sounds pretty accurate. Where is my white balance? There's my white balance. We'll turn it down just a little bit. Yeah, I'd say that's more accurate. So it has sort of a... Yeah, I mean, it's called green shade, so it has a greenish tint to it. Oop. And okay. Yeah, that's more accurate, I'd say. Okay. And we're getting a background here, which is annoying me. That's fine. Okay. Wow. This is one of my water jars currently. Which is why you have two. One is where you throw all the pigment off your brush in, and the other one is to get some clean water on there. Okay, on to Anthraquinone blue. Hell yeah, another M. Graham colour. So I'm gonna grab my palette. Apologies for any annoying noises. Ooh, did I dip my finger in it? No, I didn't. Good. So this is a very, very dark colour. And I'm gonna just take a little bit on my brush, because it's still very wet. Okay. Pop that on the palette for you guys to see. So that's what it looks like, more or less. It looks a bit cooler on camera than in real life. But that's fine. Just a touch of water to it, so it's more watered down than actual proper paint, as it should be, because it's watercolour, so you should never use the paint straight from the tube on your paper. It just doesn't work. Yeah, look how beautifully dark that is. And it's warmer than that one, so it would have made more sense to switch them round, but it's fine, I don't mind. Yeah, that phthalo blue green shade would probably make more sense further down the line, but that's okay. I went over the line. I'm not the most precise person, so if you struggle with OCT or OCD, this might not be the best thing to watch, but it's fine. There we go. I'm gonna have to adjust that white balance again. Oh, I don't want to. Constantly adjusting. Right. I'm just gonna paint ocean blue as well and see if any adjusting is necessary. The ocean blue is a convenience colour. It is a combination of two pigments, so PBR24 and phthalo blue green shade. Which means that technically I didn't need to buy this, because I think I have both of those colours in this palette. But mixing it is an effort, and I might not get it as perfect, the combination, as it is in this little palette, as it is in this little pan. And it is a very pretty colour. It is so pretty. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it. Oh my god, I made the right decision. Yeah, I'll shift it more to the light in a second and adjust the white balance so you can see it accurately, but oh my god, it's pretty. It's a very sort of turquoisey, yeah, turquoisey, maybe? Sort of a greenish hue to it, but it's so pretty. I don't understand how it is made, because like it's a combination of this very vibrant sort of electric blue with a brown pigment, apparently. Don't know how that makes that, but you'll see it in a second. It's sort of a very greenish blue. It's very pretty. Or maybe it's one of the more yellowish browns, and that's how they did it, but it looks so pretty. Yeah, you cannot see it accurately on camera. I will shift that in a second for you. Hold on. Clean the brush properly. That brush does not want to be cleaned properly. Come on. I think that's probably the phthalo in there. It's being very stainy. There we go. That'll do. And let me adjust the colours. Oop. No, not warmer. Hold on. Grab it and hold it up to the camera a bit more. Is it more like that? I don't think it wants to play ball. I think this one is being extremely stubborn. That's a shame. Oh, it's gonna struggle with the greens, isn't it? I'm gonna plonk it somewhere there then. And just hope that's okay-ish. Yeah, it looks purpley on camera. It really isn't. It's a very strange hue. Oh well, it's okay-ish. We'll have to live with it. I don't know which colour this is that I have in my hand. Hold on. That's cobalt teal, which means that's the turquoise. What did I do? What colour is this? Crap, did I skip one? No, that's Anthraquinone blue, which I just swatched. One directly under that. This should be like a turquoise? Phthalo turquoise. This might be phthalo turquoise then. I'm guessing that's phthalo turquoise then. That might be just phthalo turquoise and I'm just losing my mind. Anyway, on to the next colour. Which is Mayan Dark Blue by Daniel Smith. And I'm gonna grab my palette again to swatch it properly. Let's see. How clean is my brush? Not perfectly clean, but it'll have to do. Okay, so this colour is already drying quite quickly. It feels very strange. It's sort of like gelatinous in its sort of half solidified state. just grab a glob of it and put that on the palette. I may need more of it, actually. Yeah, so this is a very sort of indigo-ish colour. It's very dark and it has sort of a greyish hue to it. Hopefully, it'll look good on camera. Because, yeah. It's not as dark as I'd hoped, actually. So this is one that I couldn't really see in Swatch videos, so I just had to go by the picture of the picture on the art website, on Jackson's. And, of course, Daniel Smith does really like to edit their pictures, so the paint looks as beautiful and attractive as possible. Which is well within their right. I understand why they do that. But it means that I get a little bit bamboozled by the colour. Ooh. It's nice though. I think it's a really nice, beautiful blue, and I think it would do fantastically for like dark night skies. But yeah, it's not as dark as I had expected. That's fine. I've got several colours on here that are very dark. Like that phthalo blue is actually a lot darker than expected. The ocean blue is a lot darker than expected. The oxazine violet is nice and dark, and you'll see later on the jadeite. I'm very excited to show you jadeite because I had a sample of that one. So I do know what that one looks like, and it is so pretty because it's practically black in its mass tone, which is very rare for most of these colours to actually be black when you swatch them out on paper. And it fades out to this beautiful vibrant green. It's gorgeous, and I knew I had to have it because green is one of my favourite colours, and that is just a super good green. Right, let me have some more. Ooh, that's too much. I wanted a bit more pigment, but that's just a pure glob of paint. That's not what I want. Yeah, you can sort of see that I put pure pigment on the paper. Didn't mean to do that. That's fine. It looks okay on camera. It looks a bit greenish, but could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Yeah, it fades out very quickly. It's hard to get like a sort of mid-tone with this, but that's okay. I still like it. So it's Maya Dark Blue. They call it Mayan, but in actuality you don't refer to anything created by the Maya as Mayan. The N is it's a creation of us, of the Westerners. It's all Maya. So I will refer to it as Maya Dark Blue, and it's based on the actual pigments that the Maya used to paint their walls and stuff, of which the colours have lasted over 1,000 years, and it's stunning. They have a Maya Blue Genuine, which is basically like pretty much the exact colour / pigment that they used, and the Maya Dark Blue is inspired by, so it's not the exact same. It's a more nature friendly one, I think. So yeah, fun facts with me. Anyway, there's a colour on here, Lunar Blue, which is on my wish list, and I don't have, so we're skipping that one. Lunar Blue is a combination of a blue and a black, and it's another convenience colour, but it granulates very heavily. That's something that the Daniel Smith paints are very well known for heavy granulation. And it separates, so it looks beautiful. It looks like this vibrant blue that just has like black static scattered through it, which doesn't sound super pretty, but it looks surprisingly pretty. Anyway, on to Phthalo Turquoise, another phthalo. pronouncing it in the least elegant way possible. I know it's not it's just phthalo. It's a rather pretty word if you ask me. Don't know what it looks like, you can ask Hales for that. But I like the way it feels. It's a very light word. Green is the best colour. Yes, I do love green. Okay, so we're going to have to adjust in a second again, because the white balance does not want to play ball today. Which is understandable, I'm going through the entire range of the rainbow, so adjustment is expected. But I wish I didn't have to do it every other colour, because that's just annoying for you and me. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful vibrant colour. It's actually very similar to, let me see, Prussian green from Arteza. Or turquoise actually next to it. It's probably close to turquoise, which makes sense because it's literally called phthalo turquoise. So yeah, if you want this, well, no, actually you can't buy it separately from Arteza because Arteza sells their colours in sets, I think. So if you want just that colour, if you look at the Arteza set and think, that's a big set, and I really like that one specific colour, I wish I could get a smaller set, or just that one colour. Go to Roman Szmal, because you can buy their colours separately for not the worst price. It's pretty damn affordable for something so, yeah, so good really. Because I think these are a lot more light fast than Arteza's paints as well. They're meant to be anyway. Whereas Arteza is student grade, and I've done a light fastness test with them, so I've hung them in my window to see how quickly the colour would fade, and after half a year many of the colours had drastically faded, like drastically, and half a year is not much. It really isn't. That's extremely fast for a colour to fade. So, right, let me adjust again. Do I have to adjust it that way, maybe? Yeah, we'll go that way, I think, for now. Let's see if that did the trick. It's more green, it looks quite blue on camera. Right, one more attempt. Let's see what that looks like if I go all the way the opposite direction. That looks very washed out, that looks awful. Settings. Just punch it up to there. Ish. That'll do. Phthalo, white flatness rising up into pale yellowish or twirling down into browny gold. Interesting. But I'm putting too much th sound into it. Yeah, fair. Yeah, it'll have to do. It's very much not perfect. It's not very accurate. It looks a lot greener in person. But that's okay. Sleeping Beauty Turquoise Genuine. Another colour on my wish list, which I don't have, so we're skipping it. I'm going to Cobalt Teal. This is not Cobalt Teal. What is this then? What have I done? Who are you? Hold on. That is not teal, that's turquoisey, I think, so that might be Cobalt Turquoise. So I think these are meant to be switched. I think that one goes there. Okay. Now I know. Let me rinse off my knuckle that I painted on, because I didn't have a swatch page. Ooh, that looks very staining. Okay. Managed not to drip it all over my desk, so that's good. Okay, onwards to Cobalt Teal then. But yeah, the Sleeping Beauty Turquoise Genuine is also made from a genuine gemstone, or a genuine stone, called Sleeping Beauty turquoise, or it's a turquoise that was mined in the Sleeping Beauty mountain range or whatever, something like that. But it looks very pretty, and it's super expensive. So like, a little tube like this, it's the same size as this, 15 millilitres. It costs £23, which is not in my budget right now. So I was like, I'll skip that one for now. I'll skip it. So we'll move on to cobalt teal, which is a pretty similar colour. It's more green. It's a lot more green. So that's sort of what it looks like. Camera is making it too blue, as it does with the phthalo turquoise. But that's fine. I can't fix everything. I think that might have to be a question of post-production me. I don't know if the editing program I use right now has any colour adjustment in it. I don't think it does, but luckily I have another editing program on here somewhere, but I just haven't tried it out yet. Which means effort. I apologise if I complain a bit. I don't mean to. It's in my Dutch nature. We are master complainers. Something we have in common with the English. Oh boy. Wonder if anyone gets annoyed at me for that. It's all in jest, don't worry. But yeah, so it's cobalt, which means it'll granulate a bit, probably. I splattered on the next page. That's fantastic. Oh boy. Yeah, now that both my jars are getting pretty dirty, I'm having to like avoid dirty colours and trying to not muck it up too much, but I'm managing to keep the water very clean and keep the colours very clean at least. Right, see if we can adjust it. Adjust. So, yeah, the annoying thing is it just makes it too washed out. You know what? What does that look like? Not horrendous, actually. Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so that's cobalt teal. Then we move on to phthalo green blue shade. I don't know how I managed to get cobalt turquoise shifted up like 4 spaces, but oh well, it's fine. I wasted some time on it, but it's fine. Phthalo green blue shade, yeah, okay. Just PG7, which I'm mentioning because you'll find a lot of convenience colours, especially convenience greens, containing this particular pigment. So if you'd rather just get less colours and practice mixing yourself, this is a good green to have because it's very common in mixing greens. And it looks pretty good on camera. Huzzah! A rare occurrence. There's a hair on here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Doesn't look like it, so I'm gonna leave it. Am I? Yeah, I can't be bothered. Try to fix that. How long have we been going? Oh my god, really? Nearly 2 hours? Oh, you know what? I did waste an awful lot of time trying to unpack all these little things. Yeah, over 2 hours, jeez. Time flies. I'm definitely gonna have to edit that out because no one wants to see that for 2 hours. So, a huge thank you for those who are still hanging out with me. I very much appreciate the lot of yous. I cleaned my brush too much. I did that in the previous colour as well. I'm a fool. more pigment for the pan. And wash it down. There we go. That is better. Yeah, I was wondering, because I felt a little bit tired. I've been going to bed at like a pretty decent time lately, which is very unstudent-like of me. That's what happens when you graduate, you suddenly turn 10 years older. So, yeah, it's just wondering about the time, and indeed, 'tis late. It's not bedtime yet, I'm not that old. No, I've been going to bed at like, I don't know, 12:30 is when I tend to fall asleep these days, which is not the earliest, but it's pretty good. Okay, next up is that cobalt turquoise that I nearly accidentally put under cobalt teal, and you'll see why that was a bit of a shocker, because it's very different. It's very different. Oh, but it's pretty. I feel like it's in the wrong spot. That phthalo green blue shade definitely should not have been there. This is a lot greener. Good for you. Self-care is sleep. I agree. Self-care is vital, and sleep is a very good part of it. Now, me and my roommate, we like to watch shows in the evening, so I feel a bit bad for her, because right now I'm, doing this instead of that. But that's okay. And then, yeah, we watch the show, and we tend to, call it quits at about 11. Unless we start late, and we've only managed to watch one episode by the time it's 11. Because then we tend to continue, because... why would you watch one episode of something before going to bed? That's just... feels wrong. I will be swatching all of my colours, by the way, before I end this stream. That is my intention. Even though it's taking quite long, I don't care, because I'm enjoying myself, and I want them all swatched so I can start painting with them. There we go. Another hair piece of fluff thing. Whatever. I can ignore it. If I try, I can ignore it. There we go. And again, it's not picking up perfectly on camera, but we're switching to the other side. So tough luck. I'm not gonna try and adjust it again. Maybe I should let it dry actually before I flip it. So yeah, just a quick recap of this page. Look at this rainbow. I can't binge well though. I get through one episode or something before I die of not moving. That's called ADHD, baby. But no, I feel that. I don't know. Either I tend to only get like that when I'm on having hyper days. Otherwise, I tend to go into hyper focus mode and I watch too much of something. But I try not to binge things because A, it's very tiring, and B, I have a bad hip, so I tend to have pain if I sit still for too long. So I guess my body is very much keeping me in check for that. Which is good. I'm glad it does. This is not orange, please. Stupid camera. But you can see how opaque it is though, which I find very, very sexy of it. Let's see, what else is very opaque? The manganese violet looks pretty opaque. I'm just babbling because I want this to dry very quickly. Dioxazine purple is not very opaque actually, it's just very dark. This has a line in it, which I want to soften, but I don't think I'm going to be able to manage now. I've ruined it. That's fine. Ocean blue is opaque though. Ocean blue is nice and opaque. And phthalo turquoise a little bit as well, I think. Which is surprising. Other than that, this side of the paper, it's not really lived up to the opaque name of Roman Szmal. It's so pretty, I know. So, but once we get into the earth tones, that's where it gets a bit more opaque, which I find very sexy. Which I've already said, and I don't care. Are you dry yet? Not really, but I'll just flip it. As long as I don't put too much pressure on it, it'll be fine. Oh, Periline. That's wrong. This is... I'm pretty sure this is turquoise. So what did I just swatch? Okay. Periline green. Which is technically a black pigment. Which is quite interesting. So it's a very dark, sort of blackish colour, but it fades out into green. In the way that Jadeite does as well. And Jadeite does it prettier, I think. But Jadeite is a warmer green, so Periline is very... sort of... yeah. Words. Not faded, it's sort of desaturated. That's the word, desaturated. At least if I'm remembering correctly, it's more desaturated or less saturated than Jadeite. But we'll see in a second, I guess. Ooh, and it granulates. I appreciate that. So yeah, you can see it very well on camera actually. So yeah, if you like greens, you're in for a treat. Because I've got a couple of really nice ones. Did I put my... yes, my piece of cloth? There we go. So yeah, that's Periline green. It's a very sort of, not mossy, maybe lichen-ish green when it's sort of faded out. Yeah, sort of desaturated tone to it. I find it interesting that that's technically a black. Whereas, in fact, as you'll see in a second, the Jadeite goes darker than this. Oh, did I put Green Apatite Genuine on here? I forgot Green Apatite Genuine, didn't I? No, I didn't leave space for Green Apatite Genuine. That is atrocious. I'm highly disappointed in myself. So not only have I forgotten one of these, I did think that I had like more empty spaces than I should have. So yeah, I forgot Green Apatite Genuine, and clearly I skipped another one that is nameless. But Green Apatite Genuine I don't actually have a sample of right now, or I don't have the actual tube of it. I do have like a small sample on a Swatch page that I bought from Daniel Smith, but I don't think it'll be enough to cover an entire swatch with, so I'm not going to try it. Anyway. No. Where is it? There. Jadeite. And this is still... I mean, it's dried quite quickly, which means it'll probably be very hard to re-wet in a while. But we're gonna pull stuff off it. So again, this is a genuine... a gemstone. This is actual Jadeite, and I really like it. As you can see, it's very dark, and it's very similar actually to Periline green. I'm gonna put more pigment on that because I know it can get darker than that. Like, it turns pretty much black in its mass tone. And it's so nice and pretty. Wow, someone really wants to talk to me. What's happening? Ah, phone, stop! I'm sorry. I'll see if I can put that in a place where you can't hear it. Who are you? Okay, well, I'm not going to check it right now. I'm going to pop it down onto the floor. There we go. We don't check our phones during stream. You guys can, I can't. I'm working. Okay, so I'm gonna wash that out a bit. In a second we get another beautiful green, but Yeah, there's a couple of really nice ones. If you like good dark greens, these are a couple of really good colours. I'm also swatching on the wrong side of the paper, technically. Like, this is kind of one-sided paper. The front of it is better for texture stuff. But I didn't want to waste multiple sheets of paper for this because it's expensive paper. So I thought, it's fine, I'll just continue on the back, it's only swatches. It doesn't, if it granulates, then it might not show as well on the back, I don't know. So I guess that's where it's a bit tricky, but other than that, I can live with it. How does that look on camera? Looks a bit pale. It's a bit more sort of vibrant green than that, but it's pretty. It's really pretty. Okay, so that was Jadeite. And now we move on to chromium green oxide. And I know this is not a popular colour, I think, in the watercolour community, but I find it beautiful. It is very opaque, which is already a plus in my book. And yeah, it's probably just the opacity that makes me really love it. There's something about it that just, it draws me in. Right. Yeah, so that is a mossy green, I'd say. Oh my god. It's funny because, like, I don't really like opaque mediums. I don't really like oil. I really don't like acrylic. I love the flow of watercolor, like the way it flows in water and disperses. That to me is beautiful. Visual stimming, hey. But therefore it's quite funny that I'm so attracted to these super opaque colors. But yeah, I think this is just such a pretty green. It's very, it just feels very natural. It's very much a nature color. Yeah, the texture on the back of this paper is a bit ugly up close. I don't know how much you can tell of it, but I'm not as fond of the back of this paper. But that's fine. As I said, it's a swatch. It doesn't need to be pretty. Anyway, this side of the paper should take a lot quicker because, as you can see, we don't fill the, well, you can't really see it, but it doesn't fill the entirety of the page, so there's a bottom row that's empty. And I shouldn't be messing about trying to find the right colours and figure out what I did wrong and stuff. Right, so that is chromium green oxide, another heavy metal chromium. I can't help it. I have a problem. It's called opaque mediums. No, not opaque mediums, opaque watercolours. Opaque colours, which are usually heavy metals like bismuth, cadmium, chromium, cobalt. All very bad for the environment, and I'm terribly sorry. But it just be like that sometimes. Now, this green didn't spark as much joy for me, but I needed a lighter green. I didn't need one. Greens are, in a way, convenient colours. Like, you can literally mix them by combining yellow and blue. So I really didn't need these, but I wanted a lighter, yeah, I wanted a lighter green. Something that was more unique. And this cobalt green light is very unique. It's actually rather a nice colour now I see it. But yeah, like, the selection process was not an easy one because Roman Szmal, which is the majority of the colours I have here, that brand has over 140 colours available. So trying to pick from those, I remember the first time I went through the swatch video, trying to figure out which ones I liked and which ones I would love to buy if I could just splurge all the cash. And I narrowed it down to a list of like 86. So I had to stop and reevaluate my choices and was like, yeah, if I'm ever going to buy these, I need to narrow it down just a bit further. And I did. I think I got 36 colours now, which is a lot better than, 86, or however many it was that I wanted originally. So I think I did okay in controlling my urges. More or less. Aquarius green. Now this is a bit of an odd duck because it's made of 3 pigments. This is very much a convenience colour. But it is, and it's not even super pretty actually. It's not the prettiest green you've ever seen, but it is unique. So I was kind of drawn to it, which is silly because I have plenty of colours and the last thing I needed was a convenience green. But I couldn't help myself. Ooh. So this is very sort of mossy, bottom of the pond type green. It's very dark actually. Would probably be more fitted back there. I think this colour would probably also fit better further back in the line of colours, but that's okay. Yeah, this, you know what? Objectively, it's not the prettiest colour, but I actually really love it, looking at it like this. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's very, very pretty. In a strange way. Let's see. It looks a bit too brown on camera. I'll adjust in a sec. Try and finish this swatch real quick. Come on, clean out that brush. That'll do. Okay, pop that paint over there. And we'll adjust. It lasted pretty long before it needed adjusting. I'm very proud of my camera. Now, do we tone it down a bit? Yeah, I think so. That's already a bit better. Okay. Okay. I mean, that just looks really dull now. So maybe that isn't the way to go. Settings. What happens if I ump it? Ump it? Amp it up. Wow. English. Where is the sweet spot? Maybe this is just where it has to live anyway. Yeah, let me tilt the camera. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Anyway, onto a very ugly colour. Deep green gold. Which sounds very fancy. And a bit confusing, because how can something be both green and gold? Yeah, it's not the prettiest colour, but it's fantastic for mixing nature colours. So I think in M. Graham this is called Azo Green. Maybe? I'm not sure actually. Or maybe it's called Green Gold. And again, Steve Mitchell from the Mayan Watercolour really likes it. And I agree with him. I think it's a very, very good colour for landscapes. And honestly, why wouldn't I agree with him? I've learned everything about landscapes that I know from his videos, so... Yeah, you can see that pretty well on camera. It's kind of hideous. But it does wash out to a lovely yellow, I think, if I remember correctly. But again, like I said, it's best used in mixes, not straight like this. It's an awful colour, really. Like, it's a very sort of muddy, greenish. Yeah, it's just a weird colour. But I wash it out and it turns into a very light and surprisingly vibrant yellow. Again, if I remember correctly, let's actually swatch it out properly before I speak and turn out that I'm wrong. Because I'm not an expert at this. I am but a watercolour baby. Yeah, it has still a greenish tint to it, but it's a very nice and light yellow. Like, it's rather surprising. Anyway, next up is an interesting colour. It is a handmade watercolour. Let's see where it is. There it is. And it's called Viktoria, is what the maker called it. So she names all her paints. She gives them like interesting names. The more recent ones have don't have human names. Like, there's some that are inspired by Harry Potter. So she has some house names, and she has some potion names. So she has like Felix Felicis and stuff. And I do recommend looking her up on Instagram. Her name is Julia K. There it is. So, and she has lovely, lovely paints. And I got these. I didn't buy them actually. I won them in a giveaway. I was very lucky with that. And this one is, so we're properly into the earth tones now, by the way. And this is PY43, which is a yellow ochre. But Viktoria is a nice name for it. I like that. I don't know why she named it that, but I like it. Ooh, is it maybe too similar to the one that I bought? Because I tried to get two different colours. I tried to keep in mind that I already had this when I bought my earth tones. But it might be a bit too similar to the next colour we swatch. If so, then I'll just have a lot of it, I guess. That's my problem. And it's not really a problem, is it? Depends on how much I end up using it, I guess. But it has a nice sort of sandy... It reminds me of sandy beaches in a way. And it too is a bit opaque, as you can see. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of opaque colours here in the earth tones. Yeah, I'm going to put that aside. And we're going to move on to Naples Yellow Deep. And I think that one should have a bit more sort of a pinkish tint to it. Even though it's yellow. So hopefully it'll differ from my Viktoria colour. And hopefully I won't have doubled up on something when I didn't need to. Viktoria is a good name for paint. I know. I mean, I got two more of her colours. One of them is called Darcy, which is very pretty. And the other one is called Loke, which is the Swedish or Norwegian... it's one of the Scandinavian ways, anyway. One of the many ways of pronouncing Loki's name, the god Loki of mischief, who's my big favourite. I love him a lot. For many reasons, and not just the Marvel one, but like the actual god from myth and legend. So when I saw that she had a paint called Loke, I was instantly interested, and it's a very interesting colour because it's sort of black, but it has a greenish gold shimmer in it. So it's interesting. It's a bit tricky to figure out how to use it in actual paintings, but it is quite pretty, and I love it. And I am very glad that I got this one because it is darker than the Viktoria. It's, you can't properly see it on camera, but there is quite a difference. And clean up this brush. Yeah, maybe it's not as pinkish as I expected it to be, or as I imagined it to be, but that's okay. Yeah, it's nice. So colours like these and like Viktoria are actually like yellow ochres and Naples yellow and stuff. They are very good for mixing skin tones. Caucasian especially. I'm not as well versed on like different types of skin tone, and I want to learn more and try more. But I know that for Caucasian skin tones, the Naples and whatever the other one is, that they're quite good as like one of the tones in your combination, in your mix. Oh, this water is very dirty, but we should be able to make it to the end. I don't want to have to go and clean it out. Okay, next one is Quinacridone Burnt Sienna. Fantastic name again. Not sure what a quinacridone is. It's some kind of chemical type or pigment or whatever. But there's so many types of quinacridones. So there's like violets and reds and yeah. And there's a quinacridone burnt sienna apparently. I apologise if I'm slowing down a bit in my talking and stuff, because it's been a while. It's been a long stream, so I'm getting a bit tired. But yeah, this is actually an orange pigment, PO48. That's what the O stands for in PO. It stands for orange, and then PBR is pigment brown, essentially. So the letters are quite simple to figure out. It's the numbers that are complete gibberish. And there's not really rhyme or reason to it that I know. I mean, there will be probably some kind of logic behind the pigment numbers, but the letters are a bit easier to figure out. And PO48 is really rather nice. It's sort of it is a beautiful orange that sort of reminds me of, you know, the sort of the red rock that you see in is it Ohio? No, it's one of the American states. Utah. That's the one. Utah. You love burnt sienna. Yeah, burnt sienna is beautiful. But yeah, the red rock formations in Utah, I desperately want to see those. They look stunning. So the Valley of the Kings and stuff. Is Valley of the Kings? Valley of the Gods. I think Valley of the Kings might be Egypt. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about America as a country. Like I'm a bit wary of going to like big cities and stuff. But the nature, I would love to explore America's like parks and nature and stuff. It's just stunning. Okay, next up, English Red Deep. If you like opaque pigments like me, this one should really be very pleasing to you. It's already like so creamy smooth as I pull it up, and it's a brown. It's a reddish brown. Simple. And you're like, what's so nice about a reddish brown? I mean, it doesn't sound as appealing, but it is very pretty to me. So, English Red Deep and Mars Red, which is there. You'll see that one as well. That's, I think, even more opaque, I believe. These are all going to be colours that are kind of similar to each other. I like the quinacridone burnt sienna. It has a very nice glow to it. It's interesting because it's not like a traditional burnt sienna, which is uses a different pigment number. But I like this version. It's very pretty. As you can see, that black line is almost gone, which is insane. This is not necessarily heavy metal. It's PR102, which I'm not entirely sure. I think it's sort of a clay pigment. Let's clean out that brush a bit, get some pigment off, and then we can... Oh, I contaminated the colour with my dirty, dirty water. I'm a fool. I should have known. It's fine. It's my motto in life. It's fine. You'll hear me say it a lot. I make a mistake, I'll follow it up with it's fine. Because in the end it is all fine. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to panic about it. But at the end of the day, it'll be fine. And it's good to remind yourself of that. Oh yeah, that's like a lovely red brick colour, and it's looking a bit too orange on stream, so I may adjust those settings. Yeah, Valley of the Kings is Egypt. Yeah, I thought as much. And I was thinking Valley of the Dead, but I think that's where I'm thinking of the Dead Valley, which is California. So Valley of the Gods is Utah, yeah. Let's see, white balance. I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's a bit more accurate. Nice. Whoop. And whoop. Yeah, that's a lot better. There we go. So, that is English Red Deep. You can see I really like sort of the matte deep reds. Like, I have a stupid amount of them, and they're all quite similar to each other. And you really don't need that many, but I like them all, and I decided that I was not going to kill my darlings because I finished a 11,000 word dissertation and I thought I deserve a treat. Anyway, transparent brown. Sounds very attractive. But it has a similar colour, but it's more transparent. It has more of a glow to it, so it's probably better for like mixing and stuff. And it is very nice. It's a beautiful sort of red, and again the camera is not picking it up perfectly. It looks kind of chocolatey on camera, but it's a lot more red in person. It has a nice glow to it. So transparent is correct. It is indeed a transparent brown. But I like it. PBR 23. I think this is one of the colours that they use in ocean blue. How? How is that? How did they do that? Like, what did they do? I couldn't mix that if I tried. So I'm glad that I bought the ocean blue pan rather than try and mix it myself painstakingly. This is very dirty water. Right, nearly there. We have a row and a half left to go. So, not long now. Yeah, it's a lovely sort of orangey brown. It's picking up alright on the camera now, actually. Good, because I do not want to adjust. Add a bit more pigment, just to have it come down further. Yeah, nice. So, next up, I used too much water on that, that's fine. At least you get to see sort of dispersion in the water. Where do I put this? I'll put it like that. Next up is Mars Red. Oh, I'm excited for this one because it is very, very sort of like, I know it's a grim mental image, but sort of dried blood. Actually, it looks sort of rusty. It looks like rust, yeah, which is kind of apt if I was talking about dried blood, because both have the similar colour because of the oxidized iron in it. But this is super opaque. and it should look very, very nice. Yeah, it's more brown than that. They're very similar though. I really didn't need to buy both, and I don't know why I did. But they just sparked joy, and I wanted them. Oh boy, I think Mary Kondo is all like, oh, whatever her name is. I've never watched her show. I just know the memes. But she's all like, oh, you need to minimalize, and you need to get rid of everything that does not spark joy. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna buy everything that sparks joy and get way too much. So, whoops. It's fine though. But yeah, you can see it's even more opaque than that, because there you can see the black line. Here you can practically not. So, it's like, this is solid sort of terracotta. Like, it's like I'm essentially slapping terracotta onto my page, which I am not complaining about. Like, that is super pigmented, and I am in love. Need to get most of that pigment off my brush though, before I... There we go. Oh, that is very satisfying and pretty. Anyway. Yeah, like, anyway, for people who are watching this back, they have no idea what time it is here. It is now coming up to, it's nearly 25 past 10 in the evening. I started this at 7:30. So just to give you an idea of like times, obviously you can sort of tell how long I've been streaming for. But yeah, it's a long one. That's what I get for swatching out nearly 40 colours. That is my mistake. But I want it. It makes me happy to swatch colours. It's good to have a nice range, and also there's so much pigment floating around in that water. Like, the water is just, yeah, it's definitely dirtied now. I have put some red on this accidentally, which means I may have to clean my water. Okay, anyway, moving on to my Sennelier colour, a little odd duck, which I got ages and ages ago because I needed to indulge in my dark brownish red obsession, and I happen to have they happen to have this colour in a local art store, so I thought, yes, I will take that. Anyway, it's called Caput Mortuum, and it's really nice, sort of has a violet cast to it. And there's a story behind it that is sort of based on ground up mummies, which is not entirely true. But there are colours out there that were based on ground up mummies, and they very quickly fell out of fashion because the problem is every mummy is different. So they could not get a consistent batch of colours from these mummies. And they were like, you know what, this is ridiculous and too much effort, and we've used up too many mummies and they're all sort of gone now, and some of them have been ground up for holistic purposes. The Victorians were idiots. They were wild and idiots and not very ethical at all. So I'm glad they stopped doing that, because yikes. You know, you see that this colour has a really nice flow to it because it's honey based. This is a paint made with honey in it, as is Roman Szmal actually, but I've not given it as much opportunity to shine like that. Oh, it's so pretty. And you can't properly see it on stream as per usual. Yeah, it looks a lot more desaturated on stream than it does in real life, so I will bump up the white balance in just a sec. Right. Editing. Settings. What cooperate with me. There we go. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay. Yeah, so you can see it has a really purple hue to it. And it's really pretty. And it granulates, which is kind of unique for Sennelier, because Sennelier has very smooth colours mostly. It doesn't really do granulation. Except for this one. And I feel like I mixed this up again. I don't think this is the right colour. I don't think that's German raw umber greenish. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, maybe it is. No, surely not. Oh god, I'm confused again. We'll just swatch it out and see what happens. Yeah, I don't think that's German raw umber greenish at all. It might be raw umber brownish. Yeah, that looks more like a Naples yellow deep, which in fact it might be. Isn't it? No, because it's over there. Lots of confusion. Maybe I should just leave this to the side. Yeah, this is not German raw umber greenish, I'm fairly sure. So I'm gonna pop that like that. And swatch out the next one and see what happens. Yeah, I think this one is correct. Just gonna paint over it. I'm just completely gonna muck up the colour, but I don't care. So these are a couple of colours that are not very pretty. But again, they're good earth colours, so they're good for mixing. There is a water droplet on here, let me get that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've mucked up these colours again. Somehow, I don't know how. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised even if this isn't German raw umber greenish. This is German raw umber, or Cyprus raw umber brownish instead. I guess we'll find out. I think maybe that is Cyprus raw umber brownish, so I'm gonna just swatch it there. It looks a bit like Naples yellow deep, actually. But I don't think it is. So yeah, not all of these colours might be correct, and I apologise for that. I should have watched what I was doing as I was unwrapping them. So I'm gonna pop these both up vertically. So I have like all of the swatches listed out like that, and the ones I've done, and the ones I'm confused about I've placed down like that rather than that, which is why I'm mumbling to myself about placements and stuff, just so that I have more or less of an idea of what I'm doing. Yeah, this is all very confusing. This looks a bit like a raw sienna, to be fair, which is funny, because I'm pretty sure Cyprus raw umber brownish was not meant to be this colour, but I'll look it up. I'll look back at the swatch video that I used for reference to figure out what paints I wanted, and see if it's a similar. Oh boy, now which one is which? I think this one is burnt umber deep. Yeah, that looks brown. Good, because the other one's meant to be grey. Nearly there. Yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful deep brown. It looks black on camera, and I can tell you it's not. We'll water it down in a sec. Yeah, you can sort of see at the bottom that it's in fact a lovely brown. Splashed water. Hold on. Trying to limit the amount of paint that actually landed on my desk. That would be nice. Yeah, it looks a bit too warm on camera in fact now, but I can live with that. So it's a little bit cooler than what you see. Anyway, that's that one done. Next up, final Daniel Smith that I have. So, and this is another genuine gemstone. So this one is Bloodstone, and it has it's gonna look a bit similar to the Caput Mortuum, which it has like sort of a reddish purplish undertone, but ooh, it's actually quite blackish grey. And what it does that is quite unique is it granulates, which is something that the Caput Mortuum doesn't do to the same level. I'd like this to be a lot darker, please, thank you. Jesus. That's about as dark as it gets. That's funny, because the swatch that I had... No, actually it's pretty similar. I feel like maybe it's the lighting. By daylight it looks a bit more reddish than it does right now. Because now it looks kind of black. Which it is, essentially. It's sort of a purplish black. But it's not even that dark. Oh jeez. Keep pulling off too much paint of the pan, because it's still half wet. It dried very quickly, I have to say. Which makes sense, because it is a genuine stone. And those tend to dry quite hard. Not all of them, but some of them. It lightens very quickly to like a very light grey. So, again, I'm gonna pull down more pigment. Please cooperate. Yeah, the back of this paper is not great to show off the granulation patterns, sadly. But you can still see it. Ish. You see it better on stream than I do, actually, which is funny. Nice. So, that's that one. And then finally, we have... This is going to be fun to pronounce. Przybysz? Polish people are going to laugh at me. It's Polish. I don't speak Polish. But Przybysz is grey. Please mock me all you want. I deserve it. I tried, okay? And it's a convenience colour. It's a combination of 3 pigments. But again, it's a very unique grey and it's very pretty and I wanted it. So, I got it. So it's sort of this one is very purple in its sort of mass tone, a purple grey. And I'm slightly in love with it. Yeah, the order of the final swatches here is a bit muddled because it's all just dark colours. And I was like, I don't know which one to put where. They're all, you know, darkish. I'll put them at the end in some order. Don't know what order. But that's fine. Ooh. There we go. And after that, we have 2 colours left. Oh my god. So close. Yeah, again, the camera's not picking it up fantastically well. As per usual, I'll finish the swatch and then see if it needs fixing. If I want to fix it, more like, can I be bothered to fix it? That's the real question. And it's a very real question, because it's 20 to 11. Jeez. Ooh, there's some yellow splotches of paint on here. Can't be helped. That's funny, because there's green in this, and it's sort of coming through down here at the bottom. It's like a little patch of green. It's very, very unique, the way it sort of, like, all the colours that are in there. Ah, it's beautiful. Like, up close, it's just stunning. It has a very interesting granulation pattern. Okay, finally, I'm skipping Sodalite because I don't have it yet. I'm moving on to my other two colours that I got from my, whatchamacallit, my giveaway thing that I won. So one of them is Darcy, and it's quite similar to that Polish grey, in that it's a convenience grey, as they mostly are. So it's a combination. It has the same blue in it, but it also has a green in it, and a red. So it's not too dissimilar, but I think it's less purple, I hope. Yeah, it's a lot more sort of greyish, and it'll separate a bit differently. And again, I'm not 100% sure how I will use these in paintings, but they're just pretty, okay? Leave me be. Sometimes it's okay to choose colours that you just like. I mean, you could be ergonomic and clever and wise with how you spend your money, or you could be me and treat yourself. Yeah, if you're on a budget though, I don't recommend this. Yeah, don't do what I do. It helps that Roman Szmal is affordable. Like, that was like the Polish grey, I think, is like £4.50 maybe for a pan, and this the colour Darcy, well, I got it for free, so I didn't exactly waste money on this. Yeah, so you can already see it's quite different. Doesn't quite look accurate on camera. Can I be bothered to edit it right now? Not really. Sorry. But we're literally on the last one, so I think you guys can forgive me if we just finish. Because sometimes people just want to go to bed. And that's okay. I want to go to bed too. Or watch an episode of something with my roommate. But yes, this final colour is very interesting. It's called Loke. And look how shimmery. So I've added water to it now, but yeah, it is super shimmery. It's like a golden flecks, but they're sort of greenish gold. And I can already guess that it's not going to show up perfectly. So it has sort of a grey-black undertone to it. It's a very strange mixture of colours. And I kind of want to use it for like magic effects and stuff. I feel like it's good for that. Sort of fantasy-esque paintings. But yeah, it's probably not going to show up great on camera, and it looks very different by daylight than it does by night. Like, right now you can barely see the shimmer, and the shimmer takes on a different colour by day as well. So it has more of a golden look in one light and a more of a greenish hue in the other. But it's pretty. And it's called Loke, which means I want it. I'm a simple person. You can see there's no pigment information because I don't know what the pigment information is. The only reason I know of the other two handmade paints is that Viktoria I asked about. I already suspected just from the colour that it was PY43. And the other one she still had on a website, so I could find the information there. Yes, magic colour. Yeah, it looks great in this light, which is such a shame because I don't know if you can see that. It has sort of a greenish cast to it. It's weird, but it's super sparkly and very pretty, and I like it. Ooh, that's... you can't see what I'm doing. And yeah, sadly the paper here is a bit burned. So, I skipped one colour, but I don't know what that colour is right now, and I think finding out is going to take time and effort, and I think it is time instead to go to bed. So, what I will do is I'll figure that out myself. Sadly, you guys won't get to see it, but it'll show up in future painting sessions, so then I can tell you about it, and I can tell you where I messed up. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was absolutely lovely. I'm really excited about my paints. I'm super happy with the choices I made. There's some absolutely gorgeous ones in here, like Mars Red is one of my favourites, Chromium Green Oxide and Perylene Green. Funnily enough, actually, because I expected to like Jadeite more almost, but seeing them side by side, I'd love both of them. But you can see Jadeite has a huge range. It goes from almost black to like pretty much white, which is mad. So yeah, those are absolutely lovely. There's some beautiful teals and blues on the other side. I just put my fingers in paint, on wet paint. It's a shame. The purples and the pinks are really nice. Like I'm very happy with my selection. I'm pleased. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been really, really nice, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening.